I think it is being recorded now. Yeah. So just tell me, do you have any issues of dealing with the comprehension passage? We can begin our class from there onwards. And I have my small tips for you all to tackle this particular passage that you will be facing in your NET exam. I mean, whatever happens with the NET and the rules and the regulations, they're still going to give you a comprehension passage. I feel that's a standard thing. Somebody has, yes, Anwara has written yes. Okay, all right. Anyone who could just unmute themselves and tell me what are the problems that you face while tackling a question of comprehension passage? Unmute করো করে একটু বলো তোমাদের যদি কোনো problem থাকে, specific problem থাকে, I'll begin my class from there onwards, or else I'll just go on with my normal lecture. Yeah, all right. Yes. Did somebody say something? I was not there. I just got logged out.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, no.
Ma'am, প্রবলেম হয় বলতে মাঝে মাঝে কিছু ওয়ার্ডস মিনিং এ প্রবলেম হয়, বাদ বাকি কম্প্রিহেনশনে কোনো রকম প্রবলেম হয় না, কিছু কিছু ওয়ার্ডস মিনিং এ প্রবলেম হয়।
আচ্ছা, okay. And others, I can see some names here. Devdeep, Priyanka, I guess. Is it Priya, Shongita? Yeah. Do you have anything to add to that? Nobody is there. সবার ভয় লাগছে. You're not kind of finding any reason of answering. Acha, oh, it's okay. I think we need some time to kind of open up. Don't feel shy. You can just unmute yourself and tell me what your problems are, because I'm here to solve that. So don't feel shy. Don't be hesitant while sharing your problems with me. Acha, I'll be sharing my screen. Yes, somebody is unmuted. Yes.
হ্যাঁ, অনেক সময় না দেখেছি প্যাসেজগুলোর একটা কোয়েশ্চেন থাকে যে এই প্যাসেজটার কি নাম দেওয়া যেতে পারে, হ্যাঁ, কি টাইটেল দেওয়া যেতে পারে। সেক্ষেত্রে খুব প্রবলেম হয়, মানে বুঝতে পারা যায় না যে যেটা দিয়ে আসি সেটা ডেফিনেটলি হয় না আর কি। এটা অনেকবারের এক্সপেরিয়েন্স রয়েছে, তো সেটা কি করে দেওয়া যেতে পারে আর কি।
Okay, all right. We'll be tackling all of these questions while we do this session. আচ্ছা, I'll be sharing a file with you. তোরা শুনতে পেলে, মানে দেখতে পেলে, সরি, শুনতে তো পাচ্ছিসই, দেখতে পেলে just let me know যে হ্যাঁ, this screen has been shared. One second. Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So we are going to talk about some of the tricks that we might follow as we go on tackling this particular question. Now, I don't know what is happening here. Give me a second. Yeah. So today's agenda would be that why is this comprehension skill important to all of us? Why do we need this skill? The second thing that we are going to discuss today is that there are certain tips to read the passages, to tackle the questions, because it is not mandatory for all of us to know each and every meaning of the word, or maybe to understand what the passage is trying to say. Because at times the passages become so very difficult for us to kind of decode that we feel like a question and answer to ami kortei parbo na. So in that cases, when we know nothing about the passage, when we cannot decipher what the passage is trying to tell us, what are the ways in which we can still smartly tackle these questions? So if you remember in our maths classes, we all had our own tricks of tackling the questions. So at times we kind of mugged up the formulas and went with the flow, and at times we took help from our friends and solved the questions. Now in case of NET, you cannot take help from your friends. So what we can do is we can smartly tackle the questions even if we do not know the answer properly. So we have to do our own guesswork, and guesses and NET is something that goes simultaneously. We all do our own guesses while giving exams, be it paper one, be it a subjective paper, whatever paper we are dealing with. I think that is something that we all do, and I'll show you those cheat tricks how to do it. And then the traditional way, we'll discuss about the traditional way of tackling the comprehension. So when you see that reading the first 4 lines of the passage, you can understand, okay, this I can kind of understand the meaning of this passage. Then we can follow the traditional way of answering the questions in that method. Then there is an alternative way, which is definitely a trick way that at times I also use. And then there are certain tips and the simple exercises that we will be doing. Now let's come to the discussion about why is this skill needed. Now we all have been given comprehension passages, like we all have this question regarding paper 1. If you are a student of history, English, Bengali, or whatever subject of the humanities you have, we all kind of question why should we need to do maths and English and all this GK questions. Why do we need to solve that for our subjective paper? Because this is something which is very, very subjective. I am giving NET on history or English or mathematics or whatever it is. So why do I need to solve this general paper? Now the thing is, here they're testing your skill only because this is a skill that you need to have if you are going to do a PhD, if you are going to teach at a college. So we all need the comprehension skills at one point of our time. So the first thing is, if you are rooting for a PhD, there you have to do a literature review all the times. I know there is something called literature review where you read the passages, where you read several research articles and kind of come to this position of framing a research question. So for doing that, you need your comprehension skills, because until and unless you know what the passage is talking about, what the article is talking about, you won't be able to recognize the research question that you will have in your thesis, right? So for that, you need comprehension skills. So reading a passage, maybe for an example, at times while even reading, I think you will be able to relate to it even better. While reading a Facebook post, it's a very long post, and you are reading the first few lines and you get the gist. And at most of the times, we don't read the entire thing. Maybe some of your friends have posted something on Facebook, a very big passage. You read the first 4 lines and you get, okay, this person is again talking about something sad or maybe something mad, and you don't read the entire passage, but you get the gist of the entire thing, entire post. And how do you do that? Because you are comprehending over there. And how do we comprehend? By looking at some of the keywords. For an example, your friend has sent you a WhatsApp text and there are several things written on the text. You get some of the words from there. Maybe you are doing your class, that you all do. Being a student, you all do. You always fidget with your phone whenever you are sitting through a lecture. And maybe your teacher is looking at you and you are very careful about checking your phones. So what you do is, right, you read the first maybe first few words and get the gist. Acha, my friend is trying to send me this particular information, and you reply back. So there what you do is you see the keywords, when the most important words gulo dekhe tu bujhte paris je okay, this is something that my friend is trying to talk about, and you get an idea. We will actually use that particular skill or that particular trick also to solve the comprehension passages. So let's come to that. Acha. So how to read effectively? That is the first question that we all have to deal with. So how to read effectively? In order to solve a comprehension passage, you need to read the passage effectively. Now the problem with the NET exam is that you have this entire full screen, and at times you have to scroll through the entire screen in order to read a complete line, which kind of like hampers us or maybe distracts us. বারবার স্ক্রোল করে করে পড়তে আমাদের অনেক সময় অসুবিধা হয়, and we get distracted and we take more time in solving the comprehension passage than we had planned to, right? So in that case, what you do is this would be, see, at times you have the comprehension passage in the very first question. Maybe within the first 5 questions you have that passage. So fresh mind is solve korte gele it becomes easier for us. But if you are attempting, because both the papers are can be attempted simultaneously, dutoi open thake jehetu ekhon. So what you do is you please solve paper 1, even if you are not solving the entire paper 1 in the first hour. What you do is you solve the comprehension passage, because when you are doing it, you are trying to attempt it at the end of the exam, or maybe একদম লাস্টে 30 minutes এ attempt করতে যাচ্ছিস, তখন your mind is already bogged down with so many of questions. You have checked your subjective paper, you are already frustrated with the questions, you are confused, so your answers will not come easily to you. So my suggestion would be you attempt the comprehension passage in the first hour of your exam, because then your mind is fresh and you can concentrate properly on the question, you can read the passage properly, and your mind will work in a better way if you do that in the very beginning. Now let's discuss the traditional way of dealing with this comprehension passage. Now, as you can see here, I have written in bullet 1 that before looking at the question, just give the passage a quick read. So at times what we do is we look at the questions and try to, this is a traditional way that I'm speaking about, this is not the way that I'm suggesting that you do, but this is the way we have been solving the comprehension passages till this time, I guess. So what we do is we look at the question first and then we go and see if where the answer lies. But here the traditional way teaches us they don't do that, but you look at the passage first, at least give a brisk reading, at the fast reading, or even if you don't understand it, just read the lines, and you should do it 5 times. যাদের অসুবিধে হয় না তারা 3 times পড়লে ঠিক আছে, যাদের হয়তো ইংলিশ নিয়ে একটু সমস্যা আছে তারা you do it for 5 times, 5 বার পড়লে কিন্তু হয়ে যাবে. And do not panic. So if you didn't understand the meaning in the first attempt, do not panic, because it is just a language, and when you read more and more, you get to at least you get a sense of the entire passage. Now give a second attempt and reread the lines that you didn't understand. So in the first attempt, maybe you have understood the first 3 lines, but from the 5th line onwards, you had some problems in understanding. So start from there. You read the 5th line 5 times and you see what you understand from that line. Now, there is a suggestion there given by the traditional way that do not read more than thrice, because that will confuse you even more. And one by one, try to find the answers from the passage, the thing that we all do. Now, till this much, I would like to get some feedback from you. বুঝতে অসুবিধা হচ্ছে? Do you need me to like go a little slower, because I have this problem of speaking really fast? If you have any problem, you can tell that to me. Do you want me to speak in Bengali? Because last batch they wanted me to discuss things in Bengali, and I did that. There's no problem in it. So is there something that you would like to share? Anyone? Are you understanding?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ম্যাম, অসুবিধা হয়নি।
Okay. Others, what about others? অসুবিধা হচ্ছে কি? আমি কি একটু আস্তে বলবো বা বেঙ্গলিতে বললে সুবিধা হবে, কোনটা বল? I guess বাকিরা কিছু বলছে না মানে they're understanding. Yes, somebody had unmuted. Yeah.
বোঝা যাচ্ছে ম্যাম।
বোঝা যাচ্ছে। Okay. All right. So let's continue from here again. Now there is an alternate way of dealing with this similar question. What is this way? Now read the what, where, which, when questions first. So you will see that in this MCQ questions, you always have this what, when questions. What are the points discussed by the writer in this passage? What are the suggestions given by the writer in the passage? So questions beginning with what, beginning with where, beginning with which, these are the questions that you should try to attempt first, because a answer gulo pawa easy. Why? Because these are all factual questions, the very straightforward questions whose answers you will get like very easily while reading the passage. What were questions গুলো এরকমই হয়, মানে just the informational questions, maybe what are the names given by the writer to the maybe the methods to be followed in solving a maths question. But this is just an example. So when you get a where question, maybe which place is the writer referring to when he says this particular thing. So এরকম what were এই questions গুলো যেগুলো factual questions হয়, these are the easy questions. So try to attempt them first, because when you get the answers in the first few minutes of maybe 2 to 3 questions, you gain confidence eventually, right? So try to look at those questions first. Then look for the keywords in the text. Keywords কি করে, ধর একটা কোয়েশ্চেনে দিয়েছে যে what are the quantitative methods to be followed in a research question, in a research question. Now when I'm reading this question, I am using the words like quantitative, method, reading, question. So এইরকম ভাবেই এই কিওয়ার্ড গুলোকে ফাইন্ড আউট করার চেষ্টা কর প্যাসেজ থেকে। ধর তুই প্যাসেজে কিচ্ছু বুঝিসনি, তো ট্রাই টু ফাইন্ড আউট দ্য কিওয়ার্ডস। কোথায় এরকম পরপর 2 কি 3টে ওয়ার্ড বসানো আছে যেখানে লেখা আছে কোয়েশ্চেন, কোয়ান্টিটেটিভ, রিসার্চ। যেই লাইনে এটা দেখতে পারবি, ইউ জাস্ট নো যে ওকে দিস ইজ দ্য লাইন which is where I might get the answer. So this is the cheat way of doing it, cheating. একদম apparently একটা চিটিং করে আমরা আনসার করব, যেটা হচ্ছে আমরা কিওয়ার্ড ফাইন্ড করব, কোথায় এই কিওয়ার্ড গুলো আছে। we'll look into that particular sentence and we will try to guess the answer. Now read the thematic questions at the end. So this is a suggestion. Thematic question মানে কি, ধর somebody told me যে ma'am there are at times there are questions like what is the title of the passage that you can suggest. So these are the thematic questions. For answering the thematic questions, you need some time. Why? Because you have to read the entire passage, understand the sense of the passage, and then kind of come to a conclusion. Okay, this is the particular theme that they are talking about. So thematic question gulo ekটু tricky hoy, so you can just answer it at the end. And then questions about the title, questions starting with why. These are all thematic questions, the reasoning questions. Why do you think the author is saying this? Shekhane you will never get the answer like straightforwardly in the text. একদম পুরোপুরি পাবি না কিন্তু হয়তো আনসার গুলো। What you need to do is you need to reread the passages, try to understand the sense and then answer. So these are the trick questions. And then you look for the option and see if you can track back. This is again another trick. So you look at the MCQ options, the answers, and try to find out which kind of sets into the passage. কোন আনসারটা তুই প্যাসেজে পাচ্ছিস, ওই কিওয়ার্ডটা দিয়ে সার্চ করার চেষ্টা কর, and then you cross check yourself. Sorry for my voice. Yeah. Now let us look at the passage first. আচ্ছা, can you read the passage properly? তোরা কি দেখতে পাচ্ছিস প্যাসেজটা? দেখ তো জুম করে বা কোনো ভাবে, can you read the passage?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please read it and then we will have some questions which you need to answer. Right? So read the passage. I'll give you maybe 5 minutes to read it, and then we will come back to the questions. And in the meantime, if you have any other questions, any other queries, you can ask me. Just let me know once you are done reading the entire passage. Acha, Mo says that she has done reading the entire thing. What about others? The silent ones? Okay, I'll then change the slide and you have the questions over there. Okay. So read the first question and tell me, you can unmute yourself and just tell me the answer. So the time cycles of the system of nature follow their own what? Let us do that trick. সবাই একসাথে সলভ করি ট্রিকটা দিয়ে। আচ্ছা, let's see. ধর তোরা কেউ বুঝিসনি প্যাসেজটা পড়ে, you had no idea what the passage is talking about. So let's do the guesswork. So time cycle system. So these are the keywords that we have here. Time cycle system. So let's see. Let's read the passage once again. I'll just give you the slide. This passage once again. So see where you can find the words time, cycle, system, nature all at a time. Did you find the particular line? Yes, anyone? Can you please unmute yourself and tell me? Because message টা পড়তে গেলে I have to like switch back to the things which is becoming a bit difficult. Unmute yourself and tell me which line it is.
রিদম হবে বোধহয়।
Yes, answer will be rhythm. Very good. So we find that in the second paragraph. If you look at the second paragraph, আমি তোদের কি বলছিলাম যে you look for the keywords like nature, cycle. That the second line of the second paragraph has those things in it. So we have time, cycle, nature in a particular line. And so even if you have no idea about the entire passage, you can still guess the answer. And then again, we have to backtrack. We have to see what the options are. So in the options, we had the rhythm. And see in this line, which has nature, display, time, cycle, this also has this word rhythm in it. And we can guess that the answer would be rhythm. Right? So this is how we solve it when we do not have any idea about the entire passage. Now this passage, as I can guess, that most of you have understood the complete meaning of the passage. But I showed you this way only because at times when you do not feel it very confident to answer a question because of the tough nature or maybe the kind of vocabulary that has been used in the passage, then you use this trick. So you find out the keywords from the question, try to find those words in the passage, and then find that particular line which talks about these things, and you will also be getting the answer. And even if you backtrack with the MCQ options, you will see that this particular line which has all these words in it, it also has the answer, the word that has been given in the MCQs, the options that has also been included in the line. So this is how you do it. Okay, next let's check the second question and tell me if you get the answer. So the second question goes like, the view seen by a passenger looking out of the window of an aircraft will be affected by the what?
Scale.
The scale. Very good. What about others? Did you get the answer as well? Yes, others? Priya, Shuparna, Kulsum, Sneha, Mo, Devdeep, Shongita.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, got it? All of you? Okay,
Yes,
so the answer would be scale. Let's see, let's check from the passage once again. Where have you found this particular line? Yes. Check the passage and tell me which line it is.
Ma'am, second line, first paragraph is second line আছে. The scale is defined as develops.
ওই লাইনটাতে কি আছে? না, that's পরে আছে।
7 number line.
Yes, yes, exactly so. So there is this line which goes like, for instance, যেটা শুরু হচ্ছে 1 2 3 4 5 6, the sixth line. For instance, when a passenger on an aircraft looks out of the window, the view changes according to the scale. So if we try to play the trick once again, we will find the answer very easily. So okhane question to that, you have this thing, window, aircraft, and also passenger. All of those are keywords, and you see in this particular line you have all these keywords present: passenger, aircraft, looks, window, changes. So you get all these keywords, and you also have scale here, which is one of the words or one of the options mentioned in the MCQ. Then you can also guess the answer from here. All right, let's solve the third question. It says, physical geography studies the results of interaction between man and nature in order to what?
Understand the global climate change.
Yes, sorry, understand? B. Okay. Study the impact of তুই বলছিস বি আর কে বলছে এ, কেউ এ বললো? Okay. So tell me the line where you had found it.
Last প্যারাতে রয়েছে, almost last.
Yes. So physical geography, in the last line of the second paragraph, it says physical geography works towards understanding the interaction between man and nature and also the results of this interaction in order to manage global climate change better. So in the question we had, physical geography studies the results of interaction between man and nature in order to understand the global climate change, naki in order to understand, study the man's activities on nature, naki address the issues of global climate change, and reduce man and animal conflict. Now this is a kind of a why question or maybe a thematic question. As you can see, একদম straight forwardly answer টা বলছে না, শুধু বলছে দেখ আবার যদি প্যাসেজটাতে যাই, you see that it says physical geography works towards understanding the interaction and also the results of this interaction in order to manage global climate change better. So the entire emphasis is given on managing the global climate change better, right? So এখানে তাহলে কোনটা হবে? বাকিদেরটা একটু শুনি।
এটাই হবে।
আমারও এই মনে হচ্ছে।
ওকে, এটাই হবে বলছিস তো? আচ্ছা, এবার দেখ, এখানে দুটো জিনিসের কনফিউশন আছে। ফার্স্টলি, অপশন এ বলছে টু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড গ্লোবাল ক্লাইমেট চেঞ্জ বেটার। সি বলছে অ্যাড্রেস দ্য ইস্যু অফ গ্লোবাল ক্লাইমেট চেঞ্জ। এবার ইফ ইউ লুক ইনটু দ্য প্যাসেজ ইউ উইল সি, দাঁড়া এক সেকেন্ড, লেট মি জাস্ট, ইয়া, so if you look into the passage you will see it says the physical geography works towards understanding the interaction between man and nature, যেটা তাদের কোয়েশ্চেনেও ছিল, যে studies the results of interaction between man and nature, and also the results of this interaction in order to manage global climate change better. So there is this thing about managing the global climate change as well. So manage kora mane ki, to kind of address the issue. Understanding ta to bollo, তার সাথে কিন্তু বলেছে to manage the things better. Manage করা মানে যেখানে you have your own like point to give, right? So understanding is a passive process, managing is an active process, যেখানে you are doing something to manage it. এখানে যখন বলছে address the issue of global climate change, এখানে C টা is even more specific than A. Rather than understanding, it is also talking about managing, তার মানে কিন্তু addressing the issue. তো এখানে A and C এর মধ্যে একটা কনফিউশন ছিল, so we looked into the question and we have seen that it is trying to make us realize, এখন কেন দেখ কোয়েশ্চেনে একবার বলেই দিয়েছে যে physical geography studies the results of interaction between man and nature. Studying মানে কি understanding, you are looking, studying, kind of interpreting, and then what? You also act after understanding, after interpreting, you also act on this issue to address the issue of global climate change. So আরেকবার প্যাসেজটা দেখ, তাহলে বুঝতে পারবি কেন তোদের এটা আনসার নয় and কেন সি টা আনসার, because it talks about understanding the interaction between man and nature and also the results of this interaction in order to manage global climate change better, right? So একটু সাবজেক্টিভ ওয়েতে বলতে গেলে এই প্যাসেজটা, this was once given in NET, and the answer which was given for it was C, but most of the people thought it was A, right? তো এটার প্রবলেমটা এখানেই যে আমরা অ্যাপারেন্টলি দেখতে গেলে আমাদের এটা মনে হবে, আমরা সিটা দেব না, লোকজন এটাই দিয়ে আসবে, কারণ দিস ইজ কমপ্লিটলি টকিং অ্যাবাউট অ্যাড্রেসিং দ্য লাইক আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং দ্য প্রবলেম রাদার দ্যান অ্যাড্রেসিং। বাট এই কোয়েশ্চেনটা নিয়ে একটা প্রবলেমও হয়েছিল আফটার দি এক্সাম, বাট দি আনসার which was suggested by UGC was option number 3 and not option number A. So this is what it is all about. At times you have to be, I think this is a typical question. Maybe এটা ওদের কিছু গড়বড়ের জন্য কোয়েশ্চেনটা এরকম হয়েছিল, এরকম এত কনফিউজিং থাকে না, but most of the times you try to understand the sense of the question rather than finding out the keywords all the times. এটা কিন্তু factual question না, আমি কি বলেছি, regarding factual questions you look for the keywords, but regarding thematic question you look for the meaning of the line. So here if you look into the meaning, আমাদের তাহলে প্রবলেমটা আমরা কোথায় করলাম, আমরা প্রবলেমটা করেছিলাম we looked into the factual point, but this question was not a factual question, এটা কিন্তু what which question নয়. This is not straightforwardly asking you a word, rather it is trying to ask you or test if you understand the entire sense of the sentence or not, right? So this is the reason this was a trick question. Let's solve the next one. That বলেছে কি, in geography pattern studies the variation observed in a phenomenon at what? ভালো করে কোয়েশ্চেনটা পড়ে নে, I'll also scroll back to the passage once again for you to answer. So in geography pattern studies the variation observed in a phenomenon at, yes, now look into the text.
পার্টিকুলার স্কেল হবে।
Yes, very good, particular scale হবে। ওকে, where is the answer hidden in the text?
First
And second line, these are the scale.
ওই স্কেলের পরে প্যাটার্ন যেখানে which is defining pattern. So this is the 1 2 3 third line. So pattern is defined as the variation observed in a phenomenon studied at a particular scale. This is the answer. Okay. All right. Let's get back to the questions once again. Yeah. So the last question. The alignment of landmass with other elements can be seen by a passenger on a flight on a. I'll just keep it here for you to read the question once again. Okay, now I'll scroll back to the passage.
And the continental scale.
Okay, what about others? Continental scale. কোথায় আনসারটা পেলি এবার বল?
ফার্স্ট প্যারাগ্রাফের 9 নম্বর
ফার্স্ট প্যারাগ্রাফে
লাস্টের দিকে থেকে
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
So এখানে বলছে at the continental scale the passengers can see the shapes of the land features and how they are distributed. So the question asks the alignment of landmass with other elements can be seen by a passenger on a flight on a continental scale. Very good. So continental scale would be the answer. Okay. So this was the ways in which we can solve a passage. If you couldn't, if you had any problem understanding the entire passage, understanding the meaning of the passage, still you have a chance in answering the questions by following this trick methods. So till this much, is it clear? Do you want to ask me any question? Do you have any queries that you would like to address? Yes, anyone can just unmute themselves and tell me. Yes. Any problems understanding anything? Okay. I think you have no problem. Good students I got this time who has no queries. But there is a problem with that as well. If you have no queries, either it means you have not understood it or you have been not listening to it, maybe. So, Ball, did it clear out your confusions? Do you want to talk about any other things that you want to know? If you'd like to solve any other passage, any feedback that you have? Yes, I couldn't hear anyone properly. Did somebody say something?
না বুঝতে পেরেছি ভালো মতো, থ্যাংক ইউ।
Okay, all right. What about others? Any problem? You want me to address anything? Any other thing?
ম্যাম যখন ওয়ার্ড বুঝতে প্রবলেম হবে তখন সেটার সেন্সটা বুঝতে হবে, তাই তো? মানে কি বলতে চেয়েছে?
হ্যাঁ, একদমই তাই। দেখ, সব ওয়ার্ড আমাদের জানা পসিবল নয়। আমরা কেউই মানে শশী থারুর নই যে সব জেনে বসে থাকবো। So what we do is we try to understand and guess, do our guesswork. এবার most of the times it will work, most of the times it might not work. আরেকটা ট্রিক জেনে রাখ, ধর this might go for any of your papers, মানে either subjective হোক বা এই ফার্স্ট পেপার হোক। When you know nothing about the answer, কিছু তো একটা বসিয়ে আসতে হবে। We do the wild guessing things, আক্কার বাক্কার বাম্বেবো করে বসিয়ে আসলে তো হবে না। So what we do is whenever you are confused about any question, when you don't know the answer of the question, either you give option B or option C. This is about the algorithm. The way they set up the questions, the answers. Generally এটা হয় either the C is the one or B is the one. So if you this is your call to decide. So exam দিতে যাচ্ছিস তখন যেটা মনে হবে যেগুলো কিচ্ছু জানিস না, either সব কটা B দিয়ে আসবি যেগুলো কিছু জানিস না, or সবকটা C দিয়ে আসবি, প্যারিটি রাখবি, একটা B দিলাম, একটা A দিলাম, একটা C দিলাম, যেগুলো কিছু বুঝতে পারছি না ওরকম করবি না। So either you do all B, all C. Most of the times মিলে যায়. This is just a normal algorithm trick that worked at times for me. So ওই জন্য শেয়ার করছি। তো যখন কিচ্ছু বুঝতে পারছিস না, কিচ্ছু জানিস না আনসার, তখন either B or C দিবি, and that should be like for each and every question that you cannot answer. এরম নয় যে একটা কোয়েশ্চেন যেটা জানি না সেটা বি দিলাম, একটা কোয়েশ্চেন যেটা জানি না সেটা সি দিলাম, সেরম না। যেটার কোনো আইডিয়া নেই, যেখানে কোনো গেসই করতে পারছিস না তুই, সেখানে আইদার গিভ বি অর ইউ গিভ সি। দিস ইজ হোয়াট ইউ ক্যান ডু। অ্যান্ড ফর দ্য ওয়ার্ডস নাও, আচ্ছা আমাকে একটু বল, তোরা সবাই কি সবাই হিস্ট্রি সাবজেক্টস, অন্য অন্য সাবজেক্টসও আছিস? Yeah, all of you are from history. The main subjects history.
ম্যাম মেইন সবাই প্রায় হিস্ট্রি আজকে এখানে যারা আছে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, ওকে ওকে। তো দেখ, যেহেতু ইউ পিপল আর স্টাডিং হিস্ট্রি, মোস্ট অফ দ্য টাইমস ওদের সময়ও হয় না হয়তো গল্পের বই পড়া বা কিছু, এখন সেটা বলাটাও আমার পক্ষে খুবই আমি জানি হয়তো তোরা পড়ার সময়টাও পাবি না বা ইচ্ছেটাও করবে না। But what you do is you listen to maybe you watch movies, okay? You watch English movies, you watch maybe English songs যেগুলোর ভিডিও আছে, you watch BBC News, which is, I know, which is very boring. You won't like to do it. So listen to English songs, watch English movies with subtitles if you want. Please do not watch the movies in Hindi or in Bengali, because that will ruin the entire experience and you won't learn at the end of the process. And if you get time, please read books, story books. Maybe just pleasure reading এর জন্য any story book that you come across. Maybe normal romantic love story পড়, but পড়. So if you have that practice of reading, what it does is that it kind of increases your pace of reading. আমরা যদি ধর যে ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজটাতে অতটা বেশি সরগর নই, সেটা কিছু পড়তে গেলে অনেকটা টাইম লাগে, যেরকম আমার লাগে হিন্দি পড়তে গেলে, আমি একটা একটা করে লেটার পড়ি, সো সেখানে আমার সমস্যা হচ্ছে। সো হোয়াট উই ক্যান ডু ইজ we can start reading. The more we read, we will like increase our speed of reading, যেটা তোদের কিন্তু এই এক্সামে দরকার, because you need to increase the pace. And most of the times দেখবি তোরা স্টোরি বুক পড়তে পড়তে বুঝতে পারবি যে অনেক সময় পুরোটা হয়তো পড়লি, খুব ফাস্ট পড়ে গেলি, কিন্তু তোর আইডিয়াটা খুব ইজিলি বুঝতে পারলি, কারণ ইন্টারপ্রেট করতে সুবিধা হয়, your mind works in a better way. For an example, while you are watching a reel, why do you think it kind of works with all of us? Because within few seconds they are giving us a lot of information, তাই তো? And we are being able to grasp those information as well. If you think about yourself studying in class 8 or 9, maybe a few years back, তোদের কিন্তু এত হয়তো স্পিডে কোনো জিনিস বুঝতে পারতিস না, হয়তো তখন ইংলিশ মুভিগুলো শুনে মনে হতো এত তাড়াতাড়ি কি বলছে। কিন্তু if you compare yourself, that class 8 self with the self that you have right now, you know that you have increased your speed of understanding, because you have heard a lot of lectures, you have sat through many lectures, many conferences, many seminars where people have read papers, given lectures on topics, and you have gained that confidence of understanding things at a greater speed. And it happened only because you kind of trained yourself in that manner. So what you do is try reading storybooks, ভীষণ basic storybooks ই পড়, don't have to buy most of the times. এখন সবই available on internet. You can kind of download any book and every book that you want to. You can download the books, read one page every single day before you go to sleep. It helps you in sleeping as well. So you read one page, try to understand the meaning. Even if you don't understand, still read it, because that will help you out in kind of gaining vocabulary. অনেক ওয়ার্ড শিখতে পারবি, সেখানে কিন্তু সুবিধা হবে। Or you might also read the English newspaper. Buy any English newspaper. I know this is very boring to read the news, but what you do is, at least there is this cinema page, na, page 3 news. Those are very interesting for you to read. Read them. That will help you as well. Just read something or the other every single day, a page of English. That will help you out. Other than that, listen to English songs, watch English movies, and please do not watch it with the Hindi or Bengali like subtitles or the audio. Rather, you switch to English audio, switch the subtitles button, and read the entire thing. That will help you out. These are the things that I wanted to share. Acha. Anyone with any other question? Yeah. If you have no question, then we can end this session here. And if you want to solve any other passages, I don't know if I think I'll have one more class with you, maybe this week or the next week. So there I can give you another passage to solve. We will discuss the things in that class as well. So in the meantime, if you want to solve certain things, if you want to kind of get it checked by me, you can do that. You can take down my number from Prashanjit sir or any of the teachers that you have. They will provide you with my phone number. If you want me to ping for any reason, any question, any queries, you are always welcome. I'm there to help you out. And so okay, we'll see you all in the next class. If you have no question, yeah.
বলছি যে আমার যে প্রবলেমটা হয় ওটা ওই যে স্ক্রল করতে হয় না, যখন যে হাফ বারটা এদিকে থাকলো, আমি না ভুলে যাই যে আমি কি পড়লাম ওই লাইনটার মধ্যে, আর স্ক্রল করার পরে মানে কানেক্ট করাটা বা কোনো যখন অ্যান্সার খুঁজছি তখনও তো সেভাবেই যেতে হচ্ছে স্ক্রিনটা। তো ওটা যদি কোনো ট্রিক থাকে।
ওইটা হ্যাঁ, ওটার অ্যাকচুয়ালি কোনো ট্রিক নেই। ওটার একটাই ব্যাপার হচ্ছে কনসেন্ট্রেট করতে হবে। ওই জন্যই বললাম একদম প্রথমেই এগুলো আনসার করার চেষ্টা কর, কারণ আমাদের চোখটা তো টায়ার্ড হয়ে যায় 3 ঘন্টায়। তো শেষের দিকে করতে থাকলে ওই আমরা টায়ার্ডনেসে আর কিছুই মাথায় ঢোকে না। তো হোয়াট ইউ ডু ইজ একদম ফার্স্টেই খুঁজে খুঁজে কম্প্রিহেনশনটা বার করে আগে ওটা সলভ কর। চোখটা তখন পুরোপুরি টায়ার্ড থাকে না। ইউ ক্যান লুক থ্রু দি এন্টায়ার স্ক্রিন অ্যান্ড ইউ ক্যান মেক সেন্স অফ দ্য থিংস। আমার ক্ষেত্রে তো সেটা অলওয়েজ ওয়ার্ক। মানে আমি যেরকম ম্যাথসে খুব খারাপ, তো আমি অলওয়েজ ম্যাথসের কোয়েশ্চেন্স গুলো আগে সলভ করতাম, কারণ আমার অনেক সময় লাগতো সলভ করতে। তো আমি ফার্স্টেই ম্যাথস করতাম, দেন আই ওয়েন্ট অন টু ডু দি আদার থিংস, অ্যান্ড কম্প্রিহেনশনটা অনেক সময় মাঝে মাঝেই করে নিতাম, কারণ পরের দিকে আর ইচ্ছে করতো না, বা পড়তে ইচ্ছে করতো না, বিরক্ত হয়ে যেতাম অতক্ষণ বসে থেকে ওই চিল্ড এসিতে। ইট বিকামস ভেরি ডিফিকাল্ট ফর আস টু কাইন্ড অফ আনসার দ্য কোয়েশ্চেন্স। সো ইয়া, দিস মাইট হেল্প ইউ। আর বাকিদের কারোর কোনো কোয়েশ্চেন আছে? ইয়া, কারোর কোনো কোয়েশ্চেন নেই? Okay, then I'll meet you again in the next week, I guess, and then we'll solve some more passages. If I can, I'll send you beforehand passage agei pathiye debo, so that it becomes easier for you to follow. Or else, if this today's process was not quite difficult for you to follow, তাহলে আমরা এরকম ভাবেও করতে পারি। I can present my screen and we will solve things accordingly, right? So, okay, see you in the next class. Bye for today. All right. Have a good day.
বাই ম্যাম।